So today, lads, we're going to be talking a little bit about how the Indiana Fever might have been the biggest winners of March Madness. But not only the Fever could be the freaking, like, Fire could be, I'm forgetting their names, the Tempo, the Valks, anyone who is in the mid-tier of the first round could be the winner because in my opinion, the person who I thought was most likely to end up as the number one overall pick in this year's draft might be there at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And it's Flau'jae Johnson. If you guys agree, it would be unbelievable if the Fever got Flau'jae. Subscribe. We are trying to hit 57,850 subscribers by the end of the day. Thank you guys for all the support on the channel recently. We need 24 subscribers today to do that. That being said, let's talk about Flau'jae here because she is somebody that is unbelievable. She is an unbelievable player, and she's someone that has been one of the top players in college basketball for years. But she went back for her senior season. There was rumors of her coming out after her junior year, and if she came out after her junior year, she probably goes 3 ahead of Sonia Citron. Like, that is the level that Flau'jae Johnson is at, and that's the way people look at Flau'jae Johnson. They look at her as a potential number one overall pick candidate. And, like, there's not that many number one overall pick candidates, if we're being real. But that is what she is looked at. She is seen as a number one overall pick candidate, or was last year. If you look at her stats, she is down across the board. Like, it is a bad year. It's absolutely a bad year. Like, when she comes out and is having a year where you're down 4 points per game and your team gets worse. Like, did they lose in the Sweet 16? Yeah, they got worse. Didn't even get to LSU because they lost to Duke, a team who they killed at the start of the year. Like, they were just not in a position to really, like, they were in a position where they should have been able to succeed, and they just didn't. It didn't work out. And look, the three-headed monster for guards of Michaela Williams, Flau'jae Johnson, and Malaysia Fulwiley just didn't work. And that's okay. That's okay. Like, they are allowed, it's allowed. They are allowed not work, and that's fine. Like, at the end of the day, that is okay. They're allowed not work. But if you look here from last year, she shot same percent from the field. She shot higher from three. Even though, yes, she shot 12% less from the line. Even though, yeah, there were some horrific games in there. There were some games where you're like, okay, she absolutely needed to be a better player if LSU wanted to win a title. And I think coming into this year, people genuinely expected, she came back to win a championship. And people thought with Malaysia Fulwiley that they had a legitimate chance of doing it. And I don't necessarily think that they were that far off. I don't think they were that far off. There were flashes of it. Like, we saw flashes against South Carolina. We saw flashes against, like, if you look again in some of the games, like, they lost South Carolina in a game where they could have won. Flau'jae really stunk it up. And that's the thing with Flau'jae this year, is that she did not step up in big games. I think she did quite a bit last year. But if you're looking, she had a good game against South Carolina here. In the SEC tournament, she didn't have a good game at all against South Carolina. He's one Fulwiley kind of took over. But for me, it was almost too much of a like-for-like situation with her and Malaysia Fulwiley. Who do I think is the better player? I think Flau'jae projects to be the better player. She's got more length. She's bigger than, I don't care what the height says, she's taller than 5'10". I think she projects to be the better player of her and Malaysia Fulwiley. I think she does. I genuinely think she projects to be the better player. And if you are a team, like if you are the Fever, who I think the Fever have the best, like, it makes the most sense for the Fever to draft her because, look, you're getting upside. You're getting a number one pick candidate, potentially at 10. I don't think she goes past expansion. I don't. Like, if Flau'jae's there for an expansion team, the only way that Flau'jae, like, could end up not going to an expansion team is, like, hypothetically, one of the expansion teams is, like, they pull a Valkyries and they're just like, they pull a Jusite. They go and make a Jusite pick and say, we're going to take Yana Martin or Nell Angloma because we just believe in these overseas players that may not be coming over to start the year. Like, Yana Martin is probably not going to, her team's not as good, so she'll probably be over after, won't be there for training camp. Angloma nor Martine are going to be there for training camp. But imagine if one of them takes Yana Martine and Betts falls into the 5-6 slot, which could happen. I don't know how it'll happen, but that could happen. Like, there's a world, like, I actually don't think that at 8 the Valks are going to take her, but at 9 I can't see the Mystics not taking her. And like, somebody's going to trade up and take her, like the Chicago Sky traded up when Angel Reese slid on draft day. The Chicago Sky traded up to get Angel Reese and ironically gave them got them the first pick this year. It is one of those things where we've now got a number 1 pick level player. We have a number 1 pick player, and we're now at the stage where that number 1 like level player could be available in the 7 through 10 range. And that's where you start to see teams thinking, do we trade up to take her? Because as far as dynamic guards are concerned, she shoots 50% from, or 40% from 3. She shoots terribly from the line, but she shoots nearly 50% from the field. Like, she's a good 3-point shooter, a good defender, a good slasher. Yes, she has been wildly inconsistent this year, but so has the whole LSU team. Like, LSU have shown again in short spurts where they look like one of the best teams in the country. But right now, they end up losing the Elite 8 to a Duke team that, I'm not going to lie, aren't great. Like, it's not like Duke are bad, but like, I'm not going to go out there and say Duke are the greatest team in the world. So yeah, all around with Flau'jae, if she somehow ends up in a Fever uniform, I'm actually okay with the Fever saying, you know what, we'll trade Kelsey Mitchell. Like, I'm okay with that. It's like, if you replace her, Flau'jae, with Kelsey Mitchell, they're worse now, but like, I don't know. I think it's a long term, like a kind of almost like for like shooting guard swap and better contract on Flau'jae, and you can use the Kelsey Mitchell money on a power forward that you might need in a year or two. You can use it on getting an elite power forward. I wouldn't be opposed to it. And I actually heard someone saying that they would take Gianna Neepkins over Flau'jae Johnson. The difference is Flau'jae Johnson has 13 points in a game in a Sweet 16 game, and it's a national scandal. Gianna Neepkins has 5 points in a Sweet 16 game. No one cares. No one cares because she can be the 6th best player on her team on any given night, and it doesn't make a difference for whether or not UCLA win. I don't mind the Fever getting Neepkins, but if Flau'jae's on the board, you're taking her. And it would be a question for me if Tanaya Latson's on the board if you take her. Like, if it turns out that for me, there was a big 6 coming into the year, which was Flau'jae, Latson, Betts, Pham, Flau'jae, Latson, Betts, Pham, AZ, Miles. If one of the big 6 falls to 10, if you're the Fever, you can afford to take one of the big 6 as a swing. Worst case scenario, if it's Flau'jae or Latson, long term they can be the replacement to Mitchell. If you don't want to trade Mitchell and you want to go for it this year. So anyway, yeah, that is the video. See you guys.